The ocean surrounding the Maldives resort looked almost unreal the night Marcus and Elena Hayes disappeared. Waves rolled quietly beneath the wooden villas while candlelight reflected across private infinity pools overlooking the dark water. Just hours earlier, millions of followers watched the couple laughing together during sunset livestreams, posting polished vacation clips that looked exactly like the content that made them famous. Champagne glasses clinked beside expensive dinners. Drone footage captured Elena smiling barefoot across the beach while Marcus wrapped an arm around her waist for another sponsored resort post. Thousands of comments flooded their pages calling them relationship goals. For years, Marcus and Elena built an empire online by convincing people their love story was flawless. Every vacation looked cinematic. Every argument became playful content. Every anniversary turned into viral internet moments watched by millions across TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. Their audience believed they represented the perfect modern relationship. Wealthy, attractive, successful, untouchable, but sometime after midnight everything suddenly stopped. No new posts appeared across any of their platforms, no scheduled sponsorship uploads went live, no live streams, no updates. Even the automatic engagement replies connected to Elena's influencer accounts went silent. At first, followers assumed the couple simply decided to take a short break from social media. That explanation lasted less than 12 hours, because fans quickly noticed something strange. Several videos from Elena's account suddenly disappeared overnight. Then a short Instagram story uploaded just before 1 a.m. began circulating online. The clip lasted only 7 seconds before cutting off abruptly. Elena appeared sitting alone near the villa balcony while ocean wind moved through her hair. Her makeup looked smeared slightly beneath her eyes as if she had been crying. And just before the video ended, a man's voice could be heard speaking sharply somewhere behind the camera. The story vanished minutes later, but by then thousands of followers had already screen-recorded it. That was the moment concerns started spreading across social media. Then Elena's younger sister, Rachel Bennett, contacted local authorities after failing to reach either of them for nearly an entire day. According to Rachel, Elena never ignored family messages during sponsored trips because her management contracts required constant communication for brand approvals. But every call now went straight to voicemail. Even more alarming, Marcus's business manager reported missing sponsorship deadlines worth nearly $200,000 combined. For a couple whose entire lifestyle depended on staying visible online, complete silence made no sense. Then hotel staff inside the luxury resort revealed something guests had not yet heard publicly. Multiple people staying near the couple's private villa reported hearing aggressive arguing shortly before sunrise. One neighboring guest later described hearing glass shatter followed by what sounded like someone crying loudly near the outdoor deck area. Another claimed security was briefly called near the waterfront villas after midnight because staff received complaints about screaming. But before security arrived, the situation reportedly went quiet again. Resort management initially treated the incident as a private domestic dispute involving high-profile guests. Then investigators uncovered another disturbing detail. Digital forensic teams later discovered someone accessed Elena Hayes' social media accounts nearly 3 hours after both her cell phone and Marcus's device supposedly stopped transmitting signal from the island. Whoever logged into the account deleted multiple direct messages and archived several private videos before disappearing again offline. Investigators immediately realized they were no longer dealing with a simple influencer disappearance. Something happened inside that villa after the cameras stopped recording. And before authorities officially searched the property, resort staff would uncover something disturbing hidden beneath the couple's carefully constructed online perfection. Subscribe if you enjoy real-life mystery stories like this one. Long before Marcus and Elena Hayes disappeared inside the Maldives resort, millions of people across the internet believed they were watching the perfect modern marriage unfold in real time. Every morning seemed carefully designed for engagement. Elena uploaded soft sunrise routines beside floor-to-ceiling penthouse windows, while Marcus posted intense workout clips filmed inside private home gyms lined with expensive equipment and luxury branding. Together, they built one of the fastest-growing relationship brands online. Their audience watched proposal videos, anniversary surprises, vacation vlogs, matching outfit photoshoots, and emotional podcast interviews where they described each other as soulmates who built success together from nothing. Followers admired how polished everything looked. But the deeper their audience became emotionally invested in the relationship, the harder Marcus and Elena worked to maintain the image. Elena Hayes became the emotional center of the brand almost immediately. She spoke calmly during interviews, remembered fan stories during live streams, and built a reputation online for being relatable despite the luxury surrounding her life. Women connected with her honesty whenever she discussed anxiety, burnout, or the pressure of staying visible online constantly. Brands loved her because audiences trusted her instantly. But behind the polished videos and carefully edited travel content, Elena privately admitted to close friends she felt emotionally exhausted by influencer fame. Every vacation became content. Every dinner required photos. Every disagreement needed to disappear before followers noticed it existed. Then Marcus Hayes transformed their relationship into a business empire. His fitness company exploded across social media through aggressive marketing, luxury lifestyle branding, and constant appearances beside Elena. He projected confidence everywhere he went. Expensive watches, designer suits, exotic cars, motivational speeches about discipline and success. Online audiences viewed Marcus as ambitious and charismatic, but several people who worked closely with the couple later described him very differently behind closed doors. They claimed Marcus became obsessed with controlling how the relationship appeared publicly. He monitored comments constantly. He approved captions before Elena posted them. He reportedly became furious whenever videos underperformed or followers speculated about relationship tension online. As their popularity exploded, so did the scale of their lifestyle. New developments happened constantly across their channels. One week they uploaded luxury villa tour from Santorini. The next week they appeared together on relationship podcasts discussing trust and communication in marriage. Viral TikToks showed Marcus surprising Elena with designer jewelry beside candlelit rooftop dinners while emotional background music played beneath perfectly edited clips. Brand sponsorships followed everywhere. Fashion campaigns, couples retreats, wellness partnerships. Airlines paid them to document international travel experiences. Followers flooded the comments describing them as the internet's dream couple. Then the pressure started becoming harder to hide. During one live stream, Marcus interrupted Elena repeatedly while she tried answering fan questions about balancing marriage and personal identity. Viewers noticed Elena growing unusually quiet afterward. Days later, a short clip from another livestream spread online after Marcus snapped at her off-camera when she accidentally revealed details about a cancelled sponsorship negotiation. Elena laughed awkwardly and tried changing the subject, but followers immediately sensed tension. Then more subtle moments began appearing. Elena stopped smiling naturally in certain videos. Several captions suddenly carried emotional undertones about losing yourself while trying to make everyone happy. Followers noticed comments criticizing Marcus disappearing unusually fast beneath new uploads. Some fans even started compiling clips showing awkward pauses, uncomfortable body language, and moments where Elena looked visibly nervous whenever Marcus became irritated during recordings. Then another incident intensified speculation even further. During a couple's podcast interview recorded just 3 months before the Maldives trip, the host jokingly asked Elena what she would do if social media disappeared tomorrow. Elena paused longer than expected before quietly answering, "I think I'd finally be able to breathe again." Marcus laughed immediately and shifted the conversation away before she could continue. The clip went viral within hours. Behind the scenes, close friends were becoming increasingly concerned. One friend later told investigators Elena often called late at night sounding emotionally drained after arguments with Marcus about content schedules, public appearances, and sponsorship obligations. Another claimed Elena privately admitted she sometimes felt more like a business partner than a wife. Yet despite the tension growing quietly beneath the surface, the couple continued posting romantic content almost daily. To their audience, everything still looked flawless. Then 2 days before the Maldives vacation, one of Elena's closest friends received a phone call that changed the entire investigation later. Elena reportedly admitted she no longer wanted to go on the trip at all, and according to that friend, she sounded frightened. When Marcus and Elena Hayes arrived in the Maldives, their followers expected another flawless luxury travel series. The first uploads looked exactly like the content that made them famous. Drone shots captured turquoise water surrounding private villas suspended above the ocean, while Elena walked barefoot along the resort deck wearing flowing white dresses beside candlelit dinners prepared by private chefs. Marcus posted gym clips filmed against sunrise backdrops overlooking the water while tagging expensive wellness sponsors across every platform. Within hours, millions of views flooded their pages again. Fans called the trip another perfect chapter in the couple's relationship story. But almost immediately, small details started feeling different. Their airport arrival footage appeared strangely delayed compared to their normal posting habits. Followers noticed videos uploaded during daylight hours actually contained timestamps from the previous evening hidden inside background devices and airport screens. For the first time in years, Marcus and Elena were no longer documenting their trip in real time consistently. Some viewers assumed they simply wanted more privacy. Others sensed tension already building beneath the surface. Then another moment triggered speculation online. During the couple's first livestream from the resort, Elena appeared alone beside the villa pool answering fan questions while Marcus remained off camera for nearly 20 minutes. Viewers repeatedly asked where he was. Elena smiled awkwardly and said he was handling business calls, but several followers noticed her hands shaking slightly while she held the phone. Then Marcus suddenly appeared behind her mid-livestream looking visibly irritated before the broadcast ended abruptly less than a minute later. The clip spread quickly across fan accounts analyzing influencer behavior. By the second night of the vacation, followers began noticing even more changes. Elena started posting alone repeatedly. Sunset dinner photos no longer showed Marcus clearly. One beach video captured Elena staring silently toward the ocean while emotional music played beneath a caption reading, "Sometimes peace is harder to find than people realize." Comments flooded instantly asking if she was okay. Within an hour, the caption changed completely. Then resort staff later told investigators the atmosphere inside the private villa shifted dramatically after midnight. Multiple employees reported hearing raised voices during the couple's second evening at the resort. One bartender remembered Elena sitting alone near the outdoor lounge area shortly before midnight, appearing visibly emotional while staring at her phone. According to staff, Marcus arrived minutes later already drinking heavily. Witnesses later described the interaction between them as tense and uncomfortable. One employee claimed Elena quietly asked Marcus to stop doing this here before both returned toward the villa. Less than an hour later, guests staying near the waterfront suites reported hearing shouting followed by what sounded like breaking glass somewhere near the couple's deck area. Security was notified briefly, but never entered the property because the disturbance reportedly stopped before officers arrived. Then another development pushed the situation even further. Fans monitoring Elena's TikTok account noticed a video suddenly uploaded at exactly 1:14 a.m. before disappearing minutes later. But by then, several followers had already screen-recorded it. The footage lasted only seconds. Elena appeared sitting on the villa floor near a balcony doorway with mascara visibly smeared beneath her eyes. Her breathing sounded uneven as if she had been crying moments earlier. In the background, Marcus could be heard yelling angrily about embarrassing him online. Elena turned the camera suddenly as though startled by something off-screen. Then the recording ended abruptly. Once the clip spread online, theories exploded everywhere almost instantly. Some followers believed the couple staged the tension intentionally for publicity before launching a documentary or podcast series. Others became convinced Elena was trapped in an emotionally abusive relationship hidden beneath years of carefully controlled influencer content. Relationship experts on social media started analyzing old videos frame by frame, searching for warning signs viewers may have ignored for years. Then another disturbing detail surfaced. Digital analysts later confirmed someone manually deleted the 1:14 a.m. TikTok using Elena's own account credentials approximately 11 minutes after the upload first appeared. But according to cell phone location records recovered later, Elena's phone should already have been offline by then. And only hours after that video disappeared from the internet, so did Marcus and Elena Hayes. The following morning, the Maldives resort began noticing problems before the internet did. Scheduled breakfast service for Marcus and Elena Hayes went untouched outside the villa entrance for nearly 2 hours. Housekeeping staff received no response after repeated calls to the room. Concierge employees attempting to confirm the couple's afternoon yacht reservation found both phones suddenly disconnected from the resort network. At first, management assumed the influencers simply wanted privacy after the argument guests reported hearing overnight. But then Elena's management agency in Los Angeles started contacting the resort directly after multiple sponsorship deadlines passed without explanation. Marcus and Elena had 3 scheduled promotional uploads due that morning alone. None appeared online. For a couple whose careers depended on constant visibility, total silence immediately felt alarming. Then another detail raised concern even further. Airport authorities confirmed neither Marcus nor Elena appeared on any outgoing departure records from the island overnight. No private charter bookings existed under their names. No transportation requests were logged through the resort marina. It was as if the couple vanished completely without ever leaving the property. Resort management finally authorized staff to enter the villa shortly before noon. What they found inside immediately triggered calls to local investigators. The luxury suite no longer looked like the polished environment followers saw online just hours earlier. Elena's clothing remained scattered across the bedroom beside half-packed luggage that appeared abandoned mid-preparation. One overturned chair rested near the dining area beside shattered pieces of a broken wine glass still visible across the floor. The villa television continued playing silent promotional footage from the resort welcome channel, while untouched room service trays sat near the outdoor deck. Then staff discovered Elena's second cell phone hidden beneath couch cushions inside the main living area. Investigators later confirmed it was a backup device Elena rarely used publicly. The screen was cracked near one corner, and several recently deleted messages remained partially recoverable inside the system cache. Then detectives noticed something else. The balcony door overlooking the ocean remained partially open despite heavy rain moving through the area overnight. Cushions outside appeared disturbed as though someone moved through the deck area quickly before sunrise. Security teams searched the surrounding walkways immediately, but found no obvious signs of struggle near the water below. Then another discovery changed the investigation again. Marcus Hayes' passport was missing from the villa entirely. Elena's passport remained untouched inside her travel bag beside makeup products, jewelry cases, and folded clothing. Investigators immediately realized the disappearance no longer looked random. If both people intended leaving voluntarily, why would Elena abandon her passport behind? Online, the situation exploded into chaos almost instantly once news of the missing influencers leaked publicly. Millions of followers flooded social media platforms analyzing every detail connected to Marcus and Elena's relationship history. True crime creators began dissecting old interviews frame by frame looking for signs audiences overlooked for years. Viral compilations highlighted moments where Marcus interrupted Elena aggressively during livestreams. Other creators zoomed into older vacation photos claiming faint bruises appeared on Elena's arms during previous sponsorship campaigns. Deleted captions resurfaced across Reddit forums, alongside emotional quotes Elena posted months earlier about feeling trapped inside expectations. Every old video suddenly looked different to viewers rewatching them after the disappearance. Then another development shifted the case even further. Digital forensic teams successfully recovered deleted text messages from Elena's hidden backup phone, exchanged with one of her closest friends just days before the Maldives trip. In one message, Elena admitted she felt emotionally exhausted and wanted time away from Marcus completely. But another message sent less than 24 hours before the flight disturbed investigators far more. "I don't think he's going to let me leave peacefully." Detectives immediately began reconsidering the entire timeline surrounding the vacation. Then resort security recovered surveillance footage from a private boardwalk camera overlooking the waterfront villas shortly before sunrise. And the footage showed someone leaving Marcus and Elena's villa alone. As investigators officially took over the case, the disappearance of Marcus and Elena Hayes transformed from internet gossip into an international investigation unfolding in real time across millions of screens. Detectives inside the Maldives began reconstructing the couple's final 48 hours using resort surveillance footage, marina activity logs, villa keycard records, deleted account data, and financial transactions connected to both influencers. What initially looked like a possible domestic dispute quickly became far more complicated. Almost every piece of evidence pointed investigators in a different direction. Resort cameras showed Marcus and Elena returning to the villa shortly after midnight following the argument witnesses described near the outdoor lounge area. But less than an hour later, movement inside the villa became impossible to track clearly because several exterior cameras temporarily lost connection during a rainstorm sweeping across the island. Investigators initially assumed the outage was weather-related, until forensic technicians later discovered portions of the footage had been manually overwritten shortly before police requested access. Then detectives shifted focus toward Marcus Hayes directly. Friends and former employees described his behavior during the final months of the relationship as increasingly controlling and unstable. Multiple witnesses claimed Marcus became obsessed with protecting the image of their marriage online because sponsorship deals were beginning to decline behind the scenes. Brand executives privately complained the couple's engagement numbers were falling, while rumors about relationship problems spread across social media. Financial records later revealed Marcus secretly borrowed large amounts of money against future sponsorship contracts expected months later. Investigators soon realized the couple faced enormous financial pressure hidden beneath their luxury lifestyle. Then another discovery complicated the case further. Lena's business manager, Victoria Lane, became a person of interest after detectives uncovered private contract disputes involving several missing sponsorship payments tied to the couple's shared accounts. According to financial investigators, Elena privately attempted separating portions of her earnings from Marcus weeks before the Maldives trip. Emails recovered from her hidden phone suggested she planned meeting attorneys shortly after returning to the United States. Victoria initially denied knowing anything about relationship problems until detectives confronted her with deleted voice messages, where Elena admitted she no longer felt safe around Marcus emotionally. Then investigators uncovered another suspicious figure entirely. Resort staff repeatedly noticed an unidentified male guest appearing near Marcus and Elena's villa during the days leading up to the disappearance. Security footage captured the man walking the waterfront paths near their suite multiple times late at night despite staying in a completely different section of the island. Witnesses later claimed he appeared to recognize Marcus personally, though no public connection between them could initially be established. Detectives circulated his image quietly among resort employees, but withheld his identity from the public completely. Meanwhile, new discoveries kept shifting the investigation almost hourly. Digital forensic teams recovered activity from a hidden burner phone purchased on the island 3 days before Marcus and Elena arrived. The device exchanged multiple encrypted messages with an unknown contact saved only under the initials RK. Then investigators uncovered a secret bank transfer moving nearly $80,000 from one of Elena's private business accounts into an offshore account less than 24 hours before the couple vanished. Nobody could determine whether Elena authorized the transaction herself. At the same time, deleted voice memos recovered from Elena's backup phone revealed emotionally charged recordings she apparently never intended anyone else to hear. In one clip, Elena whispered through tears that she felt trapped inside a life she no longer recognized. In another, she admitted she had started researching private charter flights leaving the Maldives early without telling Marcus. Then detectives made another disturbing discovery while examining Marcus's laptop activity recovered from the villa office. Days before the vacation, Marcus searched online for high-profile divorce attorneys specializing in influencer asset disputes and non-disclosure agreements. Investigators now believed both people may have entered the trip already planning some kind of separation. But before detectives could determine whether the disappearance was connected to escape, violence, or manipulation, another witness changed the entire case again. A resort employee finally admitted something management failed to report initially. According to the staff member, Marcus and Elena were not alone inside the villa the night they disappeared. Someone else entered the property after midnight using a restricted service walkway hidden from most resort cameras. Suddenly, every theory surrounding the case shifted again. Maybe Elena planned leaving Marcus secretly. Maybe someone arrived to help her escape. Maybe Marcus was hiding what happened after the argument, or maybe neither of them controlled the situation anymore by sunrise. Then investigators recovered surveillance footage Marcus himself previously insisted did not exist. The breakthrough investigators needed finally arrived through a damaged marina surveillance camera positioned near a private docking platform on the far side of the resort. At first, the footage appeared almost unusable because heavy rain and poor lighting blurred most movement near the water before sunrise. But after forensic technicians enhanced the recording frame by frame, detectives suddenly saw Elena Hayes walking quickly along the marina pathway at approximately 4:43 a.m. carrying a single travel bag over her shoulder. She was not alone. Beside her walked an unidentified woman wearing a loose resort sweatshirt and baseball cap pulled low across her face. Elena appeared visibly distressed even from the distant footage. Her movements looked rushed and uneven, and several times she turned back toward the direction of the villa as though afraid someone might follow them. Then another detail stunned investigators. Elena carried only one small bag despite all her belongings remaining inside the villa. No luxury luggage, no designer cases, no filming equipment. It did not look like a planned influencer getaway. It looked like someone leaving quickly before they lost the chance entirely. Detectives immediately traced the marina logs and discovered a small private transport boat departed from a secondary resort dock less than 15 minutes later, without proper authorization clearance recorded in the system. Employees initially claimed the vessel belonged to maintenance staff transporting supplies between nearby islands. But GPS tracking later showed the boat traveled far outside normal maintenance routes, before disappearing temporarily from monitored coordinates. Then the footage revealed something even more important. Nearly 40 minutes after Elena disappeared from frame, Marcus Hayes appeared near the marina completely alone. Investigators noticed his clothing had changed from what he wore during the final livestream hours earlier. He walked rapidly along the dock while looking repeatedly toward the water before stopping beside the empty boarding area. Detectives later said Marcus appeared disoriented and angry, packing near the edge of the marina for several minutes before eventually returning toward the resort. Suddenly the timeline looked entirely different. Elena may not have vanished unexpectedly at all. She may have been trying to escape. Then investigators uncovered the truth. Elena spent months hiding from the public. Friends close to her revealed she secretly planned leaving Marcus long before the Maldives trip ever happened. One friend admitted Elena rented a private apartment in Los Angeles under another name weeks earlier. Another revealed Elena quietly separated portions of her finances after discovering Marcus monitored nearly every account connected to their shared business empire. Detectives recovered emails showing Elena consulted attorneys specializing in emotional abuse and influencer contract separation months before the vacation. The deeper investigators looked, the clearer the situation became. Behind the luxury trips and romantic social media content, Elena felt trapped inside a relationship controlled almost entirely by image, money, and public expectation. Then more disturbing accounts emerged. Friends described Marcus becoming increasingly possessive as their online fame grew larger. Elena reportedly stopped visiting certain family members because Marcus believed relatives were turning her against him. Former employees claimed Marcus monitored her communications constantly and became furious whenever Elena discussed taking breaks from content creation. One assistant later admitted Elena privately feared public humiliation more than anything else because their audience viewed the marriage as perfect. Leaving Marcus publicly risked destroying the entire influencer brand they spent years building together. But Marcus continued denying any physical harm throughout the investigation. During questioning, he insisted the relationship became emotionally difficult but repeatedly told detectives, "I never hurt her." Yet evidence recovered from deleted messages painted a far more unstable picture. Investigators uncovered explosive arguments stretching back over a year. Voice recordings captured Marcus threatening to ruin everything if Elena embarrassed him publicly. Private texts showed him accusing her repeatedly of planning betrayal whenever she traveled alone or spoke with business managers privately. One recovered message sent days before the Maldives trip read, "If you walk away from this marriage publicly, you destroy both of us." Then the story exploded nationally. News networks across the United States turned the case into a non-stop media frenzy almost overnight. Psychologists debated emotional abuse inside influencer relationships during primetime interviews. Former creators began exposing how often online couples fake happiness for sponsorships and engagement metrics. Millions of viewers rewatched Marcus and Elena's old videos searching for signs hidden in plain sight all along. Suddenly, the internet stopped seeing the couple as relationship goals and started viewing them as a warning about what constant performance can do to people privately. Then Elena Hayes finally resurfaced publicly weeks later through a carefully arranged statement released alongside investigators. She confirmed she left the resort voluntarily before sunrise with help from someone she trusted after realizing the relationship had become emotionally unbearable. But the most painful part of her statement came near the end. Elena admitted the hardest part was not leaving Marcus Hayes behind. It was realizing millions of strangers had fallen in love with a version of her life that never truly existed. Months after the disappearance in the Maldives dominated headlines across the world, the noise surrounding Marcus and Elena Hayes slowly began fading from public attention. The livestream reactions stopped first, then the endless commentary videos disappeared from trending pages. Reporters no longer stood outside court buildings waiting for updates. Eventually, newer scandals replaced the story entirely online. But behind the silence left behind, the damage surrounding the couple never truly disappeared. Elena Hayes resurfaced quietly through a short pre-recorded statement released by her legal team nearly 4 months after leaving the resort. She looked completely different from the polished influencer millions of followers remembered. No luxury backdrop, no makeup tutorials, no expensive sponsorship tags, just a plain room, neutral lighting, and a woman who sounded emotionally exhausted. Elena confirmed she was living privately under limited public contact while continuing therapy away from social media entirely. She thanked supporters briefly before asking people to stop turning her life into online entertainment. Then she disappeared again almost immediately after the statement aired. No interviews followed. No comeback campaign arrived. No documentary deal was announced. For the first time in nearly a decade, Elena Hayes became completely offline. Meanwhile, Marcus Hayes watched the empire they built collapse piece by piece in public. Sponsorship companies terminated contracts within weeks after Elena's messages and recordings became public during the investigation. Fitness brands quietly removed his advertisements. Podcast appearances were canceled. Investors connected to his businesses started distancing themselves rapidly as public backlash intensified online. Former fans flooded his pages accusing him of manipulation and emotional abuse, while old videos resurfaced daily across social media compilations analyzing his behavior frame by frame. Marcus attempted posting statements defending himself several times, insisting the relationship problems were exaggerated publicly. Each attempt only triggered more criticism. Then another blow hit. Financial records leaked showing several businesses connected to the couple had secretly been struggling long before the Maldives trip happened. Revenue declined sharply during the final year of their relationship, despite the appearance of constant luxury online. Employees later admitted many vacations followers envied were partially funded through sponsorship obligations and borrowed investments designed to maintain the illusion of success. Slowly, the perfect online empire disappeared completely. Their shared podcast ended. Their merchandise stores shut down quietly. Even the mansion tour and luxury relationship compilations that once dominated YouTube started vanishing from recommendation feeds. Then the story became something larger than Marcus and Elena themselves. Commentators began questioning how many influencer relationships online were actually built around performance instead of intimacy. Psychologists discussed how constant validation from strangers can slowly distort personal identity until people no longer recognize where real emotions end and content creation begins. Former creators admitted many internet couples stay together publicly long after relationships collapse privately because millions of dollars depend on maintaining the fantasy. Audiences started reevaluating the way they consume influencer culture entirely. Every romantic vacation suddenly looked slightly more artificial. Every perfect anniversary video felt more calculated. Every emotional livestream carried new suspicion beneath it. Then another unsettling detail resurfaced months later through leaked investigative documents. Despite Elena's public statement explaining she left voluntarily, several investigators privately believed important pieces of the story were still hidden. Financial analysts working the case discovered unexplained transfers moving through offshore accounts connected to Marcus's business network shortly before the trip. Resort security teams also admitted one employee connected to the unauthorized marina departure resigned suddenly and left the Maldives before formal questioning finished. Even more disturbing, detectives never publicly identified the unknown woman who helped Elena leave the island before sunrise. Officially, investigators claimed privacy concerns prevented disclosure. Unofficially, some believed the woman knew far more about the situation inside the villa than she ever admitted. Then former resort staff came forward anonymously claiming Marcus and Elena's final argument may not have been only about the relationship at all. Some believed money was involved. Others suspected hidden business agreements connected to their influencer brand collapsed during the trip. A few investigators even questioned whether someone else at the resort helped orchestrate Elena's disappearance long before the argument happened publicly. None of those theories were ever fully proven, but years later, parts of the investigation still remain sealed privately. In the end, the story stopped being only about a famous influencer couple disappearing during a luxury vacation. It became a reflection of how easily millions of people can fall in love with carefully edited versions of reality while never seeing the loneliness, pressure, fear, and emotional exhaustion hidden behind the screen. Do you think Elena Hayes was escaping a toxic relationship, or was something even darker happening behind the scenes? What do you think really happened between Marcus and Elena? Was this simply the collapse of a toxic relationship that millions of followers misunderstood, or were there still pieces of the story hidden from the public even after Elena resurfaced months later? By the time investigators closed most of the case files connected to the Maldives disappearance, the internet had already split into completely different camps. Some viewers believed Elena Hayes spent years quietly trapped inside a carefully controlled relationship, hidden beneath luxury vacations, brand sponsorships, and perfectly edited romantic content. Others believed Marcus Hayes became the victim of a public narrative that destroyed his career before every detail was fully verified. But even after Elena released a written statement confirming she left the resort willingly, online speculation refused to disappear. Former followers continued revisiting old livestreams, podcast interviews, deleted captions, and vacation footage searching for moments they may have missed the first time. Then another development pushed the story back into headlines once again. A former employee connected to Marcus's fitness company came forward anonymously claiming financial pressure behind the scenes had become far worse than the public realized. According to the source, sponsorship contracts were collapsing months before the Maldives trip, while several luxury purchases showcased online had allegedly been financed through unstable business loans. Investigators later confirmed multiple accounts connected to the company were under private review shortly before Elena vanished offline. Suddenly the relationship no longer looked like only an emotional crisis. It looked like an empire collapsing under pressure, while millions of followers still believed they were watching a perfect life unfold in real time. Meanwhile, Elena remained completely offline for weeks after resurfacing publicly. No live streams, no interviews, no sponsored posts. Friends later described her as emotionally exhausted after spending years turning private moments into content for strangers online. One friend admitted Elena became terrified of cameras entirely after the investigation exploded across social media. Then another unsettling detail emerged. Detectives privately confirmed the unknown woman seen helping Elena leave the resort before sunrise was never publicly identified because she refused media exposure and legal involvement after assisting Elena's departure from the villa. Some investigators believe she simply helped Elena escape safely during an emotional breakdown. Others suspected she knew far more about the relationship than she ever admitted officially. Even resort staff later acknowledged portions of the timeline still felt incomplete. Then public opinion shifted again after Marcus attempted posting a video statement defending himself months later. The upload was removed within hours after backlash exploded across multiple platforms. Former sponsors cut remaining partnerships almost immediately, while podcast clips analyzing the relationship generated millions of additional views online. What began as a luxury influencer vacation had transformed into one of the internet's most dissected relationship disappearances. And for many people watching from the outside, the most disturbing part was realizing how easy it became to confuse curated happiness with reality. Millions of followers watched Marcus and Elena every day believing they understood their marriage through filtered photos, vacation clips, matching outfits, romantic captions, and carefully edited videos lasting less than 60 seconds. But behind those posts were arguments viewers never heard, fears followers never noticed, and emotional pressure hidden beneath algorithms rewarding perfection constantly. In the end, investigators solved part of the mystery. Elena left the resort alive. Marcus was never charged with harming her physically, but the deeper emotional truth behind the collapse of their relationship remained far more complicated than the internet wanted it to be. Because sometimes the most convincing online lives are built carefully around the things people are trying hardest to hide. Do you think Elena was escaping a toxic relationship, or was there something even more complicated happening behind the scenes of their perfect online image? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you thought this influencer mystery was disturbing, wait until you hear what happened after a family vlogger's child accidentally appeared in a live stream nobody was supposed to see.